Do you know which is the oldest civilization in the world? Well, it's not Egyptian, or Roman, or Mesopotamian. It's Indus Valley Civilization. Before you really start questioning me, this is not something that I am saying. Times of India has published a report in which Archaeological Survey of India has claimed that Indus Valley Civilization is at least 8,000 years old, predating Egyptians and Mesopotamians. But what's even more mysterious is that even after surviving for centuries, no one is able to decipher the mystery of the disappearance of this civilization. But speculations are that the reason could be shortage of food, drought, flood, or nuclear explosion. Hello curious minds, my name is Harry, and today we'll try and decipher the mystery of decline of the Indus Valley Civilization. So let's start. So the story starts in 1920 with Dayaram Sahani. While he was excavating in Punjab, which is in today's Pakistan, he found some of the artifacts, which were potteries and weapons, in a place that was far away from any settlement or city or town. He did not want to miss on the opportunity to find out that who these artifacts actually belonged to. And without wasting any time, he asked for help and was given permission to excavate the area further, where he did not only find utensils, weapons, but also bullock carts and a lot of other things that would actually hint towards it being a settlement. After looking even more closely, they were able to find advanced and sophisticated infrastructure like roads, drainage system, and multi-story houses, which was even a challenge for architects of Dr. Sahani's time. So, this city was called Harappan. After that, the report was submitted to Archaeological Survey of India. Thank God they took it seriously and sanctioned more excavations around the area. So, contrary to popular beliefs, Indus Valley Civilization's first site was not discovered by British, but it was an Indian archaeologist, Dayaram Sahani. So after this, a lot of experts were called in, and a lot more sites like Dholavira, Suktadeno, Chanudaro, and the most mysterious Mohenjo-daro were excavated further. Initially, they thought that this would be some kind of ancient settlement, but as they kept on excavating, a lot of huge structures were unearthed, and they were astonished to find that this was a huge city indeed. This forced Director General of ASI, John Marshall, to go ahead and make this research public in 1924. And finally, after 7,000 years, Indus Valley Civilization was back from the ruins to the people of its descent. Now, this civilization not only stood against Mesopotamians or Egyptians, but was indeed greater and bigger than both the civilizations. And what will be discovered going forward is not only 1,056 cities and villages, but as we excavate, we are finding more and more cities which were part of the Indus Valley Civilization. This number is so huge that people speculate there were at least 5 million people who were part of this civilization. I know this number is not huge when we look at 2023, but at that time, this was 10% of the entire Earth's population, which means every one person out of the 10 were living in the Indus Valley Civilization. And the city's architecture was so sophisticated that today's Delhi or Mumbai would look like backward areas in front of it. The drainage system of Indus Valley Civilization was so well designed that even today in 2023, we are unable to find such an amazing planning in any of the cities around the world. And can you imagine? Indus Valley Civilization was flood-proof. Yes, they had designed pipelines in such a way that whenever the water level rises above a certain limit, it would go into the reservoirs which were there in each and every city. And there was not only one reservoir, but Dholavira, we have discovered 16 reservoirs, out of which 7 reservoirs are still intact after 8,000 years. Just imagine what kind of skills the laborers of Indus Valley Civilization had. Another astonishing revelation was made in 2006 in Mehergarh, where they were able to find remnants of a dentistry. Just imagine, it takes 3 to 4 years even today to become a dentist. And in Indus Valley Civilization, they had dentists practicing and taking care of the oral health of the local people. And not only this, there were board games, bathtubs, toilet seats, which as per Google is a discovery of modern era. But for Indus Valley Civilization, even 8,000 years ago, this was a part of their daily life. So looking at the advancement of Indus Valley Civilization, one thought might come to your mind that they would have a perfect government, a super strong ruler, and a very strong army. But to your surprise, we have not been able to find any evidence of any kind of government, any kind of army, temple, or religion. And it's really perplexing that there was indeed a civilization that existed 8,000 years ago without any army, government, or temples or religion. Yet, they were so perfect. Now, if we look back at the Indus Valley Civilization's advancements, they had amazing infrastructure, including roads, drainage system, flood-proof cities, no violence, perfect trade system. But what exactly must have happened that people of Indus Valley Civilization either died or started disappearing? That's what we'll try and figure out in the next section of the video. Archaeologists from all over the world are giving different theories towards the decline of Indus Valley Civilization. But there are 4 most credible theories, and that's what we will talk about, and we will try and question their credibility as well. So the first theory is about the geological change. So a lot of geologists have studied the conditions of the Indus Valley Civilization at that time, and they believe that Earth's crust rapidly changed, which would have caused multiple earthquakes and multiple floods. But the cities were flood-proof, right? Because of the drainage system. But what they think that it is possible due to repetitive natural disasters. If there was a flood that was so massive for the city's infrastructure to handle, then the entire city would have engulfed. But to the contrary, we don't find such a destruction in the Indus Valley Civilization. So it's very difficult to find this theory credible, or that to justify what is mentioned in one of the holy books. They're coming up with this theory because it is mentioned that there was a great flood in 3000 BC. And it is said that Indus Valley Civilization declined during 3000 BC. Now, let's talk about the second theory, that there could have been a massive drought. We know that Indus Valley Civilization was not only dependent on Indus, but Saraswati River was also flourishing during that time. And according to the archaeological evidence, Saraswati River is said to have dried out in 3000 BC, which again aligns with the timing of decline of Indus Valley Civilization. So it is said that as most of the economy of Indus Valley Civilization was agriculture dependent, that drying out of river Saraswati could have impacted the agriculture of that area. But Saraswati was only one of the rivers. Indus was also there. So there is possible that some of the civilization could have moved somewhere else or maybe moved towards Indus, but the entire civilization getting declined just because of drying of one river while the civilization was dependent on 2 rivers is something which is hard to believe. Also, in Mohenjo-daro, the skeletons that have been found are not as much as was the population of that city. So yes, drought becomes a big possibility that people would have migrated and the people which stayed could have died there without any food. Now let's look at the third theory, which is a virus outbreak. We know that dentistry was really advanced in the Indus Valley Civilization, but we have no proof about how advanced was their medical science. So it's very much possible that if there was a virus outbreak, then the entire civilization would have been impacted and could result in mass death. Along with this, there were abnormal fossils which were found in the Indus Valley Civilization. In Jodhpur and Mohenjo-daro, there were a lot of skeletons found which were sent to lab for testing, which showed a lot of radiation being emitted from. Well, in today's world, we can find a lot of radiation around us because we have electronics, we have computers, and we have nuclear energy. But 5,000 years ago, nuclear bomb? Is it possible? Because we don't have any proof of any nuclear energy that existed, but apart from one place, Mahabharata. Mahabharata is the only place where a weapon of mass destruction is mentioned. And I know I'm linking 2 of the theories together, but hear me out, why this theory is a lot more credible. If you look at Mahabharata, the end of Mahabharata is in 3100 BC, which really corresponds to the end of Indus Valley Civilization as well. And if we talk about Kurukshetra and Mohenjo-daro, the distance between both the cities is 900 kilometers, which is good enough for any of the nuclear weapon to discharge its radiation that far. And it's not only me who's saying this, but a lot of YouTubers, scientists, and archaeologists are looking towards the evidence that these 2 can be linked. Because if there was a nuclear explosion in Kurukshetra, the entire Indus Valley Civilization would have been impacted by it. So now we have talked about the 4 possible reasons for decline of Indus Valley Civilization. Either it could be drought, flood, virus outbreak, or nuclear war that happened in Mahabharata. What do you think? What could be the reason? Do let me know in the comments. So I hope I was able to feed your curiosity. And if you have learned something new today, then don't forget to like this video. And if you're new to the channel, kindly subscribe so that you can continue to learn new things about Indian history. Thanks a lot for your time. Jai Hind.